Welcome back to the GMS Theater itself. Today, my guest, real good friend, Simone Knego. Simone, you've got a book here called The Real Confidence. And without knowing from just this title and not knowing all about, okay, it sounds like this is a confidence piece, all right, that has brought you on a certain journey, all right, that has led you up to this particular point. Tell our listeners themselves how this all started.
So, real confidence is based on my real method. And that method actually started after a very crazy experience. I was asked to do something completely out of my comfort
There
zone,
you go.
which is
Welcome to Speaking World, right?
exactly, which is climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I am not a climber.
Wow.
I live in Florida. I have 16 steps in my house. I've gone camping twice, but I said yes. I
Good
said
deal.
yes because I needed to get out of my own way. I needed to get out of my comfort zone.
Right.
I struggled with self-doubt for so many years,
Okay.
and I thought this is my time.
Right. All right. So that journey from Kilimanjaro, okay, that's not, I mean, I know Florida. There's not too many hills and mountains in Florida, okay? But I would imagine this is a journey itself that you needed to self conquer, all right, to do this. So this journey led you from Kilimanjaro to where now?
Yeah, so I mean, I was not speaking before Kilimanjaro. I had not written a book.
I'd be speechless if I
Yeah, right.
could.
I've written a couple of books since then, and this is my second book actually.
Right.
So I'm a mom of six, and so often we get inside our heads, we limit ourselves, we think that we're not capable of certain things,
Right.
and we are. We're capable of anything that we want, but we have to want it, and we have to put in the work.
Good deal. So this is inspiration, all right, from the fact itself on your journey, okay, what you were able to accomplish, and motivation of changing mindset, all right, for really developing a sense, a direction. So how do people themselves really work with you, all right, to you helping them change that direction?
So, all of the work I'm doing right now is based on my real method, which stands for respect yourself, embrace your failures, ask yourself what you want, and live without limits.
Good. Love it.
And the reason I started with self-respect is because I think that's the foundation for everything we do.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but as a child, I remember being taught to respect my elders, my peers, but never once was I taught that the most important person to respect is myself.
Good.
And I think it's so important that we all understand that. And that's how we move forward because, we hear people say, oh, I'm going to walk in that boardroom and I'm going to demand respect.
Right.
What you need to do is demonstrate it to yourself.
True.
Show people what you need, what you deserve, how you're willing to be treated instead of, you know, going backwards afterwards and saying, well, that didn't work for
That
me.
didn't work right. Exactly. I mean, there is a kind of steps themselves and sometimes take backward steps, all right,
Yes.
to get to the forward. And we understand that. There's a lot of our audience, all right, and the folks themselves we speak with, we tend to what help motivate or change direction. Okay. A lot of these folks that they need this information. Okay. And so you're basically talking and coming from a level of experience. All right. And so how have you changed, been able to change people's view, change people's direction? Because that's what our listeners want to know. They
Yeah.
want to know what you do. What are the things themselves that made you do what you do
Yeah.
to accomplish what you've done?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker,
Good.
I'm an author,
Good.
but it's really, and I have a podcast with my 23-year-old daughter called Her Unshakable Confidence
Good
to
deal.
get her there quicker, right? And
Mhm.
that's the goal is to help people understand that confidence is a skill that you build.
Right.
It's not a personality trait. It's not something other people have and you
That's right.
don't. It's something you have to work on. And a lot of that is a mindset shift.
Sure.
And so I created a little hack to help people when they get stuck in that cycle. We all have that voice inside our head. I call it the what if whisperer.
Right.
What
Gotcha.
if you fail? What if you're not enough? What if they judge you? Right.
Hmm.
And so it's a very creative title for the mindset hack. It's called Control Alt Delete.
Good
Right.
deal.
So back in the day, that was how we would reset a frozen computer. Now it brings up Task Manager. I don't know what that does. I wish it would really manage my tasks, but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Control is about awareness, right?
Right.
It's really thinking about, okay, what are the thoughts that are running your day? Are they real? Are they helpful?
Yes.
Most of the time, the answer is no,
That's right.
right? We get stuck in that comparison game. We spiral in self-doubt, but
Mhm.
we're not aware that we're even doing it.
That's right.
So we need to become aware of it.
Sure.
Alt is about alternative. Tell yourself a better story. Instead of saying you
Mm.
can't do something, yes, I can, watch me. Instead of asking, what if I fail? How about when I succeed,
Right.
right? Because your thoughts become your reality. There's so much science about it. Like really have to focus on what you want so that you can move forward. And finally, delete. Delete the habits and beliefs that don't serve you. Delete the comparison game. Delete the
Mm.
belief that you're not enough. Delete the idea that you need to wait until you feel ready. Waiting until you feel ready is like waiting for IKEA instructions to actually make sense.
And
It
it'll never
it is
make
not
sense.
gonna happen. Do it now, do it scared, do it anyways.
Right. I think that a fact of self that individuals need to realize strengths and weaknesses.
Mm,
Okay. And one of the probably the largest weakness is they can't do something or they're not challenging themselves enough, all right, to complete the task. Individuals that I've talked to over many years themselves say 90%, 98% of individuals themselves are always pinning, all right, the failure side.
mm.
And it's a very, very small percentage. You got to climb through the crevice, all right, and let's just say to the summit,
Yep,
all
yep.
right, to engage, all right, those particular positive sensors. And a lot of people need that, and they need to gravitate more percentage to saying, yes, I can things themselves that, yeah, it may be difficult in the beginning. I mean, we're on the Olympics, we're watching the
Mm,
Olympics, and these folks themselves, I mean, you hear some of the backstories and what they've done to get them to the particular place, all right, to actually have either one run, two runs of something they practiced over and over about a billion times. You say the same thing in the speaking world.
mhm.
All right. Rates right up there next to death
Yes, yes.
for most
Actually,
people.
I think it's actually, the number one fear is speaking, and I think it comes before death, which is crazy, right? I mean
But it's just communication.
yeah,
All right, so how do we break that chain? How do we break the bounds or the bonds, all right, for individuals themselves to get more positive initiative to drive, all right, what it is they're capable of doing?
yeah.
What do you think?
I think a big part of it is how we talk to ourselves, how we talk about
Self-talk.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at you brought up the Olympics.
Hmm.
There's not an athlete that goes like, let's talk about the ski jump. They don't go to the top of the thing and say, well, this is going to be the worst jump of my life,
Right.
right? What do they tell themselves? You've got this. You
Yep.
put in the work. You
That's
know
right.
what you're doing.
Yep.
But what we tend to do is the opposite, right? Oh, you're going to suck at this. Don't even put yourself out there. And it's so important that
Right.
we do it differently. Talk to yourself like you would your best friend.
That's right.
If you wouldn't say it to your best friend, don't say it to yourself.
Hmm.
But that's what we tend to do. We tend to wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, see all the wrinkles. I'm so unhappy about this. And,
Right. Exactly.
look in the mirror and say, you are amazing as you are, right?
Sure.
You're the only you.
Yep.
So it's so important that we, when I was younger and there was a period of time where I was a stay-at-home mom and I
Okay.
have 6 children. So
God bless you.
thank you very much. Let's hope so. And it was chaotic. And I would refer to myself as just a stay-at-home mom, just Rob's wife,
Right.
just a volunteer, justifying my existence, right?
Right. Right.
Those are all pieces of who I am, and I need to own them. And I think it's so true for all of the listeners to understand that everything you do is part of you.
Yeah.
And you don't need to justify it for anybody. You don't need to worry about what anybody else is thinking.
Mhm.
Honestly, most of the time, they're really not thinking about you,
Yeah.
right?
Sure. That's right.
Everybody has their own life, but we get so focused on that comparison game. So again, talk to yourself like you would your best friend.
Sure. That mirror is your best friend.
Yes, yes, it should be. And for most people, it's the enemy.
Yeah, it is because they're looking at something itself they did not want to be.
Mm,
All right, for the self doubt and self talk itself, the saying this is who you are, which makes it very very difficult for people to crawl from the wreckage.
absolutely.
I think it's fact of self. I think it's extremely important that people understand that self. You do have an opportunity. Okay, the adversity side of what we see out there. I kind of coined it myself as challenges, choices, and decisions. And so here's the challenge. Here are the choices.
Right.
And the decisions themselves, sometimes they're going to be hard. They're going to be tough. All right. And so with this, real confidence. All righty. Can you give us just some live experience of how you're able to change the direction of people?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest things I see, especially with women, is speaking up in meetings,
Okay.
right? Being able to use your voice when you're in a situation that you feel under pressure.
Hmm.
It's the understanding that your voice matters,
That's
right?
right. Yes.
And they hired you for a reason,
Yeah, that's right.
not to sit silently.
Yeah.
We get into that imposter syndrome stage where we think, oh my gosh, they're going to find me out. I really don't deserve to be here. And that's so ridiculous because you have a seat at the table. You need to use it.
Sure.
And so really working with my clients to go through all the different situations. Like, here's how to speak up, right?
Right.
Here's how to set a boundary. Here's how to say no without feeling guilty.
Sure.
And those are huge. But the speaking up thing, I think, is one of the hardest things for people. Again,
Sure.
we talk about communication, but it's that ability to say, like, even when it's stressful, I know my voice is important. And
Right.
again, it's how you talk to yourself.
Sure.
It's like
Without a doubt.
telling yourself that you deserve to be there instead of, no, I don't.
Knowing itself that you've been through Kilimanjaro, all right, and a different set of journeys themselves that brought through 6 children,
Yeah.
and God bless you, woman, without a doubt. How does your message resonate more with the ladies, women? Does it message resonate more with the fact for men too, as well? Is it the generations? Who's the resonators? Who are the individuals themselves that
Y-
you're seeing the most impact on?
So it's interesting because my focus was on women when I got started. And so this book came out this week.
Okay,
And thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you. And it's been really interesting, the feedback, because I've had a lot of men read it already. Like,
Right,
they start and they can't put it down and they're like,
good.
that's me. That
Hmm.
was my story.
Right,
This is what I struggled with.
right.
Now, men don't want to admit it as much,
You're
right?
right.
When we talk about like statistics, like women won't apply for a job unless they meet 100% of the qualifications. Men
Sure.
will apply when they meet 60,
That's right,
right?
exactly. It's the
So,
pride versus humility thing.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
And so, but yeah, men don't necessarily want to talk about what they
Right,
struggle with. But I think it's so important that we do talk about it. And so it's been very interesting to have men text me and say, this totally resonated with me. I
right.
saw myself in this book. And so that's been an amazing experience. Did I write it for women? Yes. Do
Okay,
I think men should read it? Absolutely. Because
absolutely.
every man has a mom, a
Sure.
sister, a
Right,
girlfriend, a spouse, whatever it is,
right.
that it really, I think it helps you understand women a little bit more.
Yeah, sure, and as everybody has a story,
Everybody has a
and how
story.
you bring that story to life itself is our mantra, but,
Mm,
how you bring the story to life to really help people through those struggles and the adversity sides, challenge, choice, and decisions, it's gonna make giant-sized leaps and bounds for somebody.
yeah.
Simone, this has been very, very interesting,
Mm.
and it's gonna be very interesting for our listeners themselves. How do our listeners and your listeners now, how do they reach you?
Best place is my website,
Okay,
SimoneKnego.com.
all right.
SimoneKnego.
That's right,
It's my husband's fault.
and now
Yes.
it's all good. So I want to thank you very much for joining us. Okay. And definitely good luck and 100%. All right. With this book itself, I think you're doing a great job without a doubt.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for having
Thank
me
you.
here
Today's
today.
very sense. Hey, this is Rich himself signing back out. Simone, thank you very much. All righty. And hey, we'll see you soon on GMS Studios at the theater. Take care.